Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Letter. We had major drama in the last episode.
Oh my god. I was joking off screen that this is turning into the horror dating simulator or the horror Young and the Restless.
Yes.
Where there's shit going on with relationships, but there's also a dead woman that probably wants to murder everyone.
I do kind of like having...
Distractions from the horror?
Not distractions, but like... You know, yes, there's these like weird things going on, but it also is like real life isn't going to wait. Like,
I want to point out that they're making you feel for these people, so when they die, you're going to be very upset.
Yes. We even make it out of the ballroom without any untoward incident. Though judging by the commotion in the other room, the same cannot be said about the unexpected eviction. I really do need the fresh air. I need to be away from those nosy Parkers. I need to be away from Luke. This is a good start as any.
Hey, I gotta go back in there. Completely forgot my bag like an airhead, and I'll see if I can tag Ash on the way out. You'll be fine here, right, Hannah?
Not to worry, dearie. I'll just be right here.
Zach will be with you if you need anything.
Aww.
Becky balks at the idea of going back into the ballroom. Anyone who hasn't yet would have realized I am gone by now. All those busybodies will be gossiping about how I left the building with two unknowns. Along with what just transpired, stories both inaccurate and made up will be spread by the night's end. It all matters very little in the grand scheme of things, of course. I haven't even bothered to try and quell them by returning to the fray. That leaves me with...
Zachary?
Yeah, you need something?
I was only going to say how nice it is to see you again.
Oh, okay.
I can see the tension in the line of his shoulders. Odd how awkward he is when this isn't our first meeting. We hadn't met on professional terms, certainly, but I'd like to think I was friendly. Nonetheless, I do not push the issue about the apparent discomfort when we were left alone.
You did kind of pressure him to kiss your butler.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Nothing weird about that. Not right away, at any rate. I know my curiosity will get the better of me soon. Before I can say anything, however, he speaks up.
You okay there, Hannah? I mean, of course you're not okay after what happened in there. I mean, that was terrible, but you're not gonna just fall down and faint or anything, right?
I'm fine. Thank you for your concern.
A beat.
I should be asking you the same thing. I remember you being a lot more eloquent.
Oh, yeah. I'm just not too good with staying too long in a crowded room.
Feel ya.
Or handling intense drama, you know?
I feel ya.
Sorry about my clothes. Didn't think there'd be a dress code. Not that I have anything that nice to wear to a shindig like this. I dig nice, small, simple parties, so this is a real doozy for me.
He's
And do
such
you
a
host
nice
your
guy.
own nice, small, and simple parties often?
Only when there's occasion, birthdays and stuff. Those are a lot more fun for me, and I can be a lot more selective about letting only the people I'm cool with attend, right? I get to pick the food too. Of course, I make most of them myself. There's usually a dozen people or less, and all we really do is just hang out. Maybe do some grilling, karaoke, dancing, you know, the usual.
Grilling, karaoke, and dancing. That is a heck of
That
a party.
sounds nice.
Yeah, you sure you're all right? You aren't exactly being eloquent yourself, as you put it. You must have something you want to get off your chest.
I don't know, Zachary. What am I supposed to say?
You can scream married if you want. I won't snitch.
You want to know what I think? How I feel? I think my friend may have slept with my husband. At least, I'm pretty sure she isn't pregnant with his baby, which isn't much now, is it?
I don't know about that
I
part.
don't know about that.
My husband is a selfish, pretentious, bloody sack of shite, and you know what? I don't give a flying fuck anymore! My God!
Well, that ain't good. Not giving a crap won't make the problem go away.
I'm going to ask him for a break, Zachary. I'm not going to pretend that there isn't a problem, but I just need to step back.
Fair enough. As long as you don't just up and disappear on him, I suppose.
Yes. Now can we please stop talking about him? Tell me more about your small, simple parties, karaoke and dancing. How does that even go together?
It's simple, really. We hope Ash doesn't take the mic, put on a bit of fun music, and just dance.
Yep, that's probably how that
Not
part
that I
would go.
can. But there ain't nothing complex about it.
You can't be that bad.
I'm pretty good with the twist. Or that's what they tell me, at least. I think they're just being nice. I'm sure it just looks awkward.
Oh, prove it.
Yeah.
Prove it.
I've learned that men tend to exaggerate.
Yeah.
You can't honestly be that bad, can you?
What? Do you need a demonstration?
Yes.
Yes.
That would be preferable, yes.
It's not like there's music here, Hana. Come on. I could barely dance with music, and I don't want to be dancing alone. I'll just look silly.
Imagine, mon ami. You are an artiste, are you not? With your photos and films and your guitar, you must know notes to play an instrument. Find a melody and a beat. Would it be such a stretch of the imagination? And don't fret, I will gladly be your partner.
I can tell by his expression that he's flushed, embarrassed. But no more protests escape him, and he focuses with a slight tilt of his head. Then he starts to hum a little tune. I drag him into the gardens while we go through the motions, and he gains courage the farther we are from the other people. And we just dance.
Aww.
Though he stumbles at first, unsure and bashful.
Where did you even learn to dance, Zach? The 60s want their moves back, honestly.
College of two left feet, obviously. And I'll have you know the twist is still an awesome dance.
We're happy and we're having fun, even if Zachary fumbles with his steps and did the funniest, oddest movements that anyone can pass off as dancing. There is no need to impress anyone, however, not even each other. And this is the most I smiled and laughed in a long time. It is simple. Simple is nice. I wish the same can be said about what I'm about to do. Simple isn't the adjective I will use to describe the task at hand. Because really, how does one tell their husband that they want to separate and say that, no, this is not a divorce? Not yet, at least. The possibility is there, but still, how am I to even explain that to Luke without him throwing a fit? Cutting too deeply into my sausage, I open my mouth to excuse myself. That is until I spy Luke mashing and stirring his poached eggs with a fork like a petulant child. He's been silent all the while, chin in his hand and elbow resting on the table. I worry that my absence after the debacle may have caused more harm than good.
Luke?
It's not you. Okay, it's you. It's the achievement.
I think we need a bit of a break. You know, some time apart.
At my words, he grows still and silent. I'm not quite sure whether I should be worried or not. I take it as my cue to keep talking.
It's not permanent or anything like that. Just for a while. In a few days, perhaps. I was thinking I can move back into our penthouse in the meantime. But I won't be moving out right away. So that I can help settle everything here. And I haven't even thought of packing yet. And I'll want to ask Johans to assign some of our staff. Unless you want the penthouse anyway. Then I'll stay here instead.
No, you take the penthouse. It'll be easier for you.
It isn't supposed to be this easy, is it? Can he really react so aloof to it?
Isn't this to your liking? I imagine that you'd like the space and independence. You'll have the bed and covers to yourself, and you can have whatever you want prepared for meals. You can even have all the wine you want, though I'd rather that you don't.
This isn't about that, Hana. Well, it's partly that, but...
The man stops playing with his food, choosing instead to push the plate aside.
What's wrong, Luke?
He slumps back in his chair and stops short of putting his feet up on the table. I suspect he's wanting some wine or absinthe by now, but any sort of alcohol is suspiciously absent in his hand.
Aside from that disaster yesterday and you telling me you want a divorce, everything is peachy keen. Will you want me to start on the letters then? To start the divorce settlements and whatnot? Will you be seeking ways to throw me out onto the street without a penny to my name?
No, Luke, this isn't a divorce. I just told you this is only temporary. Are you really having a sulk because of what she said yesterday?
I am having a sulk because you believe her. You stormed out and now you're asking for us to split up? Soon enough, you'll want to throw me out like I'm a piece of trash.
Do you think I would be this calm if I believed her, Lucille Mitchell right? Because
Lucille?
believe me, if I did, well, it wouldn't be pretty.
Lucille?
Besides, I know how you feel about children. It makes her whole statement laughable.
Sure, whatever you say.
Oops, missed a line. His mouth draws into a thin line and I can't bring myself to comment on his half-hearted reply. To me, the silence that follows feels oppressive. It only emphasizes that wall that has been built up by my obeisance and his hubris. And it looms between us, keeping us
When are
apart.
you leaving? In a week?
It won't take that long to pack. After All Saints, perhaps, I'll go and inform the staff of this.
He only nods. And I'll be lying if I said that didn't disappoint me. I expected more resistance. The man could be stubborn as a mule if he wants to be. Perhaps I can leave now just to spite him. But that isn't like me. Even if this does end in divorce, a thing we both surely wish to avoid, we can still leave on amicable terms. There's no point in making a mountain out of a molehill.
What are you still doing here? Just leave. You still have some packing to do, don't you? Go ahead. I won't stop you.
Kind of a jerk. Kind of a jerk. You really didn't support your argument.
That's the official jingle.
I guess. I mean, for a guy that's like not trying to deny he's got some skeletons in the closet, maybe, question mark, get a paternity test. He's sure not like causing a fit that she's walking out the door when he's caused a fit about everything else.
That is interesting.
So
go ahead and do nothing. There isn't much to do, it seems, whenever I step up to the plate and try to take responsibility for something. Perhaps because everything is already being handled by someone hired specifically for that job. And with Johans overseeing the staff and Luke handling everything else as a whole, that doesn't leave much for me. I can't even take the job of delegation because all it takes is a word to one of the senior staff and everything will be taken care of for me. Moving in here a few days ago may have very well been the chore that took the most effort from me. And that didn't take any real effort at all.
Yes, Hannah, go buy a mansion in the middle of nowhere. Good idea. Great plan.
There are no dishes to set aside and busy myself with. Any mess left behind is now nearly non-existent. To sit on a counter while eating a cake is supposed to be my next plan.
ooh, I like it.
Alas, there isn't even one to finish off, and I don't really know what brought me to the kitchens in the first place. It's not like I'm craving anything else, nor do I have any unfinished business left here. But there's a calling to this room. Speaking of calling, why not do just that? Might as well since I have nothing else to do. At least that will require some effort on my part. With how cut off from the rest of Luxborn the mansion is, and with how long it was abandoned before we moved in, having a landline is out of the question. The solution is supposed to be our mobiles, though it isn't much considering how spotty the signal is in the area. It'll take a bit of maneuvering to get even a single bar as it is. So, didn't Isabella get invited to the party?
Yeah.
And she wasn't there that we saw. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
But her friends didn't seem concerned that she wasn't there.
Yeah, I'm wondering.
But we didn't see Ashhole a lot. Maybe he was with her.
Could be. It'll take a bit of maneuvering to get even a single bar as it is. I said that. It takes a bit, as I said it would. I have to park my rear on one of the cold drawers, but that suits me just fine. Another matter that needs my effort is who to call. She who must not be named is certainly off the list. That doesn't leave much of the category of close friends who attended the party, along with the category of who else is awake at this early hour.
You gonna call Zachary?
I'm thinking, but soon enough I manage and the call goes through either Zach or...
Becky.
Yeah.
Hello, Rebecca Gales here. Who's this?
Good morning, Becky.
Hannah? Oh, wait, how did you get my number?
You responded to your RSVP through the phone. It's all saved in here, of course. I thought I'd like to say hi and make plans and get together sometime. Also, I'd love to hear news about your mother and father and about you, my dear. Oh, I hope I didn't wake you up.
Oh, you're good. It's sports day at school today, so I was just prepping for that.
Figures that you'd be a teacher as well. I'm sure your students must absolutely adore you.
Don't know about that.
Mathematics?
History, actually. Anyway, it's real nice to know you've got my number. I was going to ask for yours because Mom wanted to keep in touch.
You could have asked, silly girl. I would have gladly given it to you.
Couldn't, though, because, well, the thing that happened. But really am sorry, though. I gotta run. School, schedule, stuff.
The three
Is there
S's.
anything else you want to say? Don't want to use the mobile while driving.
Oh, of course, of course. I shouldn't keep you, but I wanted to thank you for your company yesterday.
Not a problem.
I was hoping you could thank Zachary on my behalf as well. He was really kind and wonderful.
Well, you can tell him that yourself if you want. I can give you his number.
Oh, wait.
Oh, no, I don't want to be a
I want his
bother.
number.
Intruding on his privacy.
We'll take his
Pretty
number.
sure he'd be fine with it. If you two on a first-name basis and all.
Phone
So
number.
his number, right, it's...
The call starts to go static, much to my frustration. A strange clicking noise drowns out most of her words, too. I can barely understand what she's saying.
Stupid dead chick. You just
Right.
caused us a date, man.
And the line completely dies. I can feel a headache coming along. It's just building up, starting from a light throbbing on one side of my head. The static is gone, and that helps a lot. But there's still that incessant, horrible clicking. Again and again and again. Which doesn't make sense. The mobile's turned off, isn't it? And if it isn't coming from the phone, then where? God,
I hate this cellar. She
So
died in
much.
this cellar. I'm telling you.
Looking about, I can't help but let my eyes be drawn to the hatch, leading to the wine cellar once more. That's when the clicking stops and I can hear that crying, that familiar crying from before. What happened the other day when I was told that nobody should have been down there? I tried to forget it because of how it unsettled me so. One can hardly do that when I'm looking at the very thing I'm trying to forget. Somebody is crying down there again. But if I leave it alone, it simply won't stop bothering me for the rest of the day. They might have forgotten to lock it with the party going on.
This again!
Don't go down there.
If somebody is pulling my leg, I will not be happy.
Go down there.
Oh,
shit.
True enough, all it takes is a bit of a pull to open the hatch. As I look down to the cellar, a sense of uneasiness washes over me. Trust that feeling.
Don't go.
It isn't just a sudden onset of vertigo and nausea, but also the darkness. It's suffocating. And as I look down, it feels as if it's looking back at me.
Don't go down there.
And I worry that something will suddenly pull me into the deep. The cries drown beneath the shrieks that start echoing in my head, high and shrill, like nails being dragged across a chalkboard. They're all screaming, shouting at me, and I can just feel her rage. Help me. She wants to drown me, drag me down, and crush me in the very depths of darkness until there's nothing left of me. The deep abyss awaits for me, for my death. They're all calling for it. This is a nightmare.
Are you prepared to get us out of here?
Oh God. There's a rope around my neck and I can feel the rest of me being torn apart. And they're still screaming. I'm screaming. Though it is not my voice that escapes my lips. It claws through, climbing up and forcing its way up my throat like putrid bile. I choke and gag and shriek. I choke and gag, yet I scream and shriek all at the same time. And I'm me, but not me. What?
Is she portraying the dead chick?
What is...
X. A. Were we, like, feeling her death?
Maybe. It pushes me down to my knees before I'm prone and vulnerable on my stomach. It makes me tumble, and I can just feel my whole body seizing, writhing on the floor. Everything and nothing hurts. It feels like I'm on the verge of death. And if I'm not dying, I nearly wish I actually am.
Hannah? Hannah, what is going on in here? Why are you?
Franks!
Seeing Luke, something snaps back and I'm able to take a grasp of air on my own volition for the first time in what feels like centuries. I would have rejoiced and cried out for his name if the pain still did not rack my body. In safe hands achievement. Instead, all I can do is stare listlessly as he comes to my side and lifts me up, cradling me in his arms. He tries to get me to my feet, perhaps to take me out of here. But all he's able to do is get me to sit, make sure I'm not trashing on the floor. I can still feel my muscles spasm, limbs jerking like a puppet's on a string. Luke holds me tight and keeps me still so that I do not hurt myself anymore. Whatever it is that happened, it has my mind feeling frayed and battered. Eventually the pain dies down into a dull ache and my own tongue stops feeling like cotton. It's only now that I can feel wetness on my cheeks, tears streaking down my face. A coughing wrecks my body, and now that I don't feel like choking. And it just all feels so horrible, but I don't care. I don't care.
Please!
What happened here? Who did this to you?
I don't know. I'm so sorry.
Shh, it's all right. You're safe now, Hannah. You're safe now.
Da-da-da. Da-da-da.
Is hers gonna end now? Yep.
Yeah, where's Zach?
Damn it.
Man, yeah, I kind of wanted to see where that was going to go. Oh, I wonder if our choice to take a break, though, is going to affect, like, the story for other people. So let's see, what day are we on?
We're back to the 17th.
Okay. No, I think we're on the 21st.
No, that's
Oh,
just
maybe
showing
not.
your new ones.
No, okay, yeah, I guess we didn't really. All right. The music. The pleasant aroma hits me long before I cross the threshold. Faint but light and warm, a reminder of what home is. Pa's stern but commending gaze, Ma's tender smiles, the sunlight filtering through the eaves in the morning, and the distinct smell of cinnamon and vanilla as it drifts through the air every time something cooks from the room. The room, our room, Ma and Pa's pride and joy. My sister and I too, eventually. But we ain't allowed there. Not yet. Not until we're taller or older. Not until we've learned how to take care of ourselves and not burn our hands or reach the cupboards without having to be
But a
lifted.
little peek wouldn't hurt, yeah?
The floorboards are cold under my feet more than it usually is. The wall is more forbidding than what I'm used to. Farther and farther the room goes. Ma's singing ceases and Pa...
No, please wait. I'll be good. I'll sleep on time. Don't go.
I can't hear Pa. Not above the raucous clanging and deafening roar of gunshots, nor the screams replacing the comforting soft melodies. There's only the blinding fear. When my foot slips, the red sea that catches me is bitter and frigid, but the blood that drips in my hand is warm, warm, warm. It ain't my blood. The walls tumble and everything goes quiet.
Oh, did his parents die?
That's I'm wondering if that's what that was, because when he mentioned Mom and Pa, I was like, but I thought he lived with his grandma.
Yeah.
That would explain it.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah. It takes a few moments for everything to fall in place, for my eyes to adjust to the relative darkness of the room. Despite the pleasant chill the AC brings, my shirt is clinging tightly to me, and my blanket a tangled mess around my throat. Morning has not even arrived, and yet...
Way too early for this thing, man.
Too long. Too long since the last I've woken up drenched in my own sweat, head littered with thoughts that are gone as soon as my eyes open. All too often, only imprints and brief images are left to haunt me for the rest of the day, or until my mind forgets about it. Egad, whichever comes first. Yet, vivid or not, what little I can remember does not matter. Regardless, the desperation sticks, clawing up, pushing, urging me to relive every moment, every sensation, and... There's a twinkle in Ma's eyes when she looks up from her work, flour dusting her nose and cheeks. The scent of freshly baked bread wafts from the oven as soon as Pa opens it, and the homely fragrance of honey fills the room. He reaches up to wipe the small beads of sweat away from his forehead before gesturing for me to come closer the moment he spots me on my little hiding place behind the door. I expected him to be angry, but his pat on my back when I come within his arm's reach is encouraging enough. We'll have to taste these first before we put it up for sale tomorrow. You up for it, little man? Is it good enough? A knot cuts through the air before I can answer. Sharp, heavy, demanding, familiar. So distantly familiar. Ma ushers me out of the kitchen when Pa moves to answer it, but I know. I know what waits outside. The taste of blood in my mouth sends an unpleasant churning in my gut. Ma's apron crinkles under my tight grip. Something snaps back into place. My bed remains in utter disarray. The walls still need a new paint job, and the wall clock ticking opposite my bed is as unsettling as ever. Ash is right. I should have already replaced that when I had the chance.
You're no longer there, Zachary. Here and there are miles apart. Calm down. Breathe.
The pressure of my own fingers against my temple is a welcome sensation over the anxiety gripping me. It never really did anything to stave off the headache sure to follow after this before, but it grounds me. A little reminder that I'm safe, away from the place I once called home, from Ma and Pa's. The urgency with each rap that follows finally chases away the ghosts threatening to hang around. Why anyone thinks it's a good idea to knock at someone else's door this late confuses me.
Knocking on my chamber door.
Nana would chase them all away with a broom if she were here.
Quote the Raven.
This it is and nothing more. But no matter, it's a welcome break from the thoughts about to take a morbid turn if left festering. It's probably just Ash anyway, looking for a place to crash. Looking for a place to crash. Wonder of wonders why he's bothering with the courtesy when he never did so before. Even with that hunch though, habit compels me to check who it is first through the peephole. Better safe than sorry, they say.
Agreed.
Except the person that greets me on the other side ain't him.
Who is it? Who is it? Who is it?
Oh, wait. I think unless his hair grew longer overnight and he started wearing a ponytail, of course, which I highly doubt will happen anytime soon, no matter how funny that looks in my head.
Is it Isabel?
I think it's Isabella. I always know time opening the latches.
Isabella, it's late.
Safe haven achievement. There's something I can't quite pinpoint in her eyes when she looks up. Her face a pallid shade, shoulders tense, breathing heavy, and an uncontrollable shaking in her hands she's trying to hold back. Hide if I didn't know any better.
Hey, Zach. Sorry. I know it's weird for me to show up at this hour, but you are the closest to my office, and
No, no. It's perfectly fine. I'm not really working on anything right now. Do you want to come in?
Is it all right? I know you should be sleeping at this hour, but I thought... I'm sorry, I just thought...
I have no idea why I went here.
My feet just moved on their own after I got out of the office, and... Sorry.
She trails off, her voice lost in the muggy night air. I wait for her to say more, but instead, her only response is a downward shift of her gaze, back to her still trembling hands as if the motion alone is enough of an explanation. A minuscule gesture, easy to miss if one is not paying attention. But for someone who has seen the same expression on the mirror, done the same thing too many times when night terrors are inevitable, it is not.
Hey, don't worry about it. At least you knocked. Ash just barges in and crashes on the couch whenever he feels like it. I swear that guy is one fine hairline away from being a criminal.
Without waiting for her answer, I step away from the door and saunter over the kitchenette. For a few good seconds, only the clinking of the plates can be heard above the constant tick-tock. Late as it may be for a snack, the familiar motions keep me occupied, steering my mind away from dangerous thoughts. Isabella's company is not unwelcome either. Whatever her reason for showing up here at such an hour doesn't matter. I'll be damned if I just turn her away, frazzled as she is. The door clicks shut behind her when she finally enters, feet scuffling softly against the tiled floor. In all the years I've known her, she has never once lost her ever upbeat spirit. Yet in this particular moment, as she stands in my doorway, holding her arms close to herself, it's as if I'm looking at someone completely withdrawn from the person I've come to know all these years.
Do you want to drink or eat anything? I haven't restocked my food stash yet, so ingredients may be a bit limited. But I'm sure I can whip something up with what I have here.
Egg and bread sandwich?
Just water will do, please. Thanks, Zach.
What? No additional food requests? That's new.
Cheese.
I'll put something together for you anyway. And
Everyone
feel free to
likes
make yourself at
cheese.
home.
It's hard to go wrong with cheese.
You ain't exactly a new visitor here. Although my room's not at its most presentable right now. Sorry. New freelance gigs and such. Didn't have time to fix things up here lately.
It's
Have
okay.
you seen her
I don't
room and
mind.
all her cup noodle
Right.
garbage?
Like clothes on the floor
Yeah.
and...
She does have a sheep.
Usually she'd have something more to say about that. A quip already remarked to provoke a laughter or two. Nothing from her at this time. Only a weak smile before she takes a seat on the couch and silence stretches out until what we left hanging feels disconcerting. Before everything turns stifling and awkward, I continue talking, if only to keep the dead air at bay. How's one supposed to keep a conversation going when the person you're talking to is like this?
Anyway, gigs.
About those gigs. We'll just have to hear more about those gigs in the next episode. Pleasant small talk we got going on here.
I know. What kind of gigs? Is it like gigs as in I'm going to talk to you about the gigs in my hard drive?
Yeah, that one.
I'm very interested.
When you're a musician or an artist, a job is a gig.
We've had a lot of Simpsons quotes.
Today's been the Simpsons day. All right. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.